I think one of the things that's definitely become apparent since the advent of streaming TV services is that we're now in an age where we have an unending cycle of content. On-demand services fill the insatiable appetite of audiences for a constant media diet of stuff to watch. And calling TV shows and movies content is kind of interesting to me in the context of this conversation. The term exclusive content was something I only first heard in the 1990s to refer to the likes of behind-the-scenes featurettes or deleted scenes or something like that on a DVD for a movie. And then with the advent of widespread broadband internet adoption in the early 2000s, studios would offer what was marketed as exclusive content, exclusive video content on their websites, for example. Some TV shows would produce the likes of webisodes, spin-off webisode series, and this was particularly common for the likes of sitcoms at the time. This was before Netflix had transitioned to being a streaming service in 2007. And then in 2005, YouTube appeared on the scene. Google purchased it, of course, in 2006. But it wasn't taken seriously by big media giants until some years later. And then exclusive content started showing up there. But now we refer to made-for-streaming TV shows and films as content. And to me, the term content in this context sounds very corporate, sterile, like a marketing term, which of course it is. And I think it devalues the artistic merit and quality of the TV show or film in question. Now, before I go very much further, please forgive me. I got to shill my book here just for a moment. My latest book is called The Checkmate Machine: How Modern Smart Tech Ruins Everything. This book is available in ebook and paperback formats. It's a non-fiction book and a collection of essays that I wrote with stark warnings about the negative transformative impacts that modern smart technology can have on our lives and society. I discuss the potential dangers of smart cities, digital programmable currencies, digital identities, artificial intelligence, automation, smartphone addiction, transhumanism, and more. It's available in ebook form for just $2.99 from Amazon or $8.99 for the paperback, and it's totally free if you're using Kindle Unlimited. That's The Checkmate Machine: How Modern Smart Tech Ruins Everything, from the links below. Okay, so with that out of the way, now the reason I'm discussing this is because it's something I got thinking about after watching the trailer for the second season of Andor on Disney+, the latest Star Wars show. And I thought, boy, I forgot that show was still going. How many Star Wars TV series have there been at this point? Whether it's animated or live action. It's very easy to lose track at this stage, and there's more on the way. Well, there was none in the 1990s. And from 2008, for 7 seasons, there was just the Clone Wars. But now, since Disney took over, it's been Resistance, The Bad Batch, Visions, The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Andor, The Acolyte, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka. And it's the same for Marvel. You know, back in the 90s, there was a handful of animated series. And now I can't even begin to tell you how many Marvel TV series there's been at this stage. Most of them in the MCU. I would actually need an Excel spreadsheet to go through all the names and the number of seasons that there's been for the sheer amount of Marvel shows over the last few years. And of course, DC has had its fair share of TV series as well, though I don't think nearly as much as the Marvel shows. Star Trek has also gone down the route of quantity over quality, let's just say. Back in the 1990s, there were just 2 series on the air from 1993 to 1999. Next Generation and Deep Space Nine overlapped by 2 seasons. And then when Next Generation ended, DS9 and Voyager were on the air for a few years, while the Next Generation movies were being made. They were being released every couple of years. Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, and then finally Nemesis in 2002. And at the time, those 2 TV series and those movies, that was considered a lot. That was considered a lot of output for one franchise, which it was, looking back. But by comparison to today, probably not. I mean, by the time Enterprise was cancelled in 2005, there were actually complaints about franchise fatigue. right? Franchise fatigue. But up until very recently, with modern Trek, new Trek as it's sometimes referred to, there's been 5 Star Trek TV series running simultaneously. Star Trek Discovery, Picard, Strange New Worlds, Lower Decks, and Prodigy. Where's that franchise fatigue? Needless to say, I don't think that modern Star Trek can hold a candle to the quality of Star Trek that we got during its golden era period of the 1990s. Back in the 1990s, what you had to watch on cable TV felt kind of like a relatively concise menu. But now, the entertainment options are just gargantuan. Just go on. And there's so many more streaming services now than just Netflix. So I liken it to an enormous buffet at a Las Vegas hotel that you could never possibly get through. There's basically just too much. You can't consume all of this media. Suffice to say, it's been a case of quality over quantity, just to sort of keep viewers with constant dopamine, just a constant series of novelties. One show after the other, one made for streaming, movie after another. And so the very nature of on-demand streaming services, I think, just naturally lend themselves to being platforms for very generic assembly line television shows. You know, sure, there's some good shows on streaming services, definitely. But because it's really all about high volume of content output, it's therefore logically going to be of lower quality than what television once was, like, for example, in the 90s. And that's why content is such an interesting word to describe modern entertainment these days, because it really feels very descriptive and appropriate for what has become so much of pop culture, franchises, and entertainment, which is to say, filler, stuff, and bland copy and paste product. And in an age of just consume product and get excited for next product, it seems the name of the game becomes about delivering as much product as possible. So guys, those are just some thoughts that I've had on the state of television entertainment right now and streaming services. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, share this video, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.